Do you want to work on your squat flexibility and reach a deep and comfortable squat position? I am the flexibility guy, Coach Elia, and in this video we're going to see all the exercises you should be doing in order to succeed in this journey. We're going to start with the preparatory exercises, which are all the exercises you can do to improve your squat position. The first one is the one-leg adductor stretch on the bench. You put one foot on the bench and one leg remains on the floor. You keep the floor legs straight and the leg which is on the bench bent and with the knee pushed down. Then you use a weight, you start on top and you drive your torso in between the legs. So not only towards the leg which is straight, but exactly in the middle of the legs. You keep the bent leg really strongly pushed out and you let the weight pull you down towards the floor. Make sure that the weight isn't too heavy. You want to feel that the weight is assisting you. Get deeper and deeper into the stretch. You can repeat this movement for 6 to 10 reps, and on the final one you can hold the position longer, for example for 5 to 10 breaths. Remember, at each rep you want to stop at the bottom of the rep, going into the stretch for at least 2 seconds, and then you come back up. One last note, remember that if you want to intensify the stretch, you can put a hand on your knee and push it out. In order to perform a squat, you also want to make sure that your ankles are flexible enough to let you go into the stretch. So this is a really good exercise you can do for your ankles flexibility. You have just to put your toe on some yoga blocks or another kind of support, and there are two main different variations of this. In the first variation, you have your leg straight and you lean forward with your body. So you keep your heel on the floor and you just lean over your front leg. In the second variation instead, you want to bend your front knee and you want to push it past your front foot. This is kind of different, but it stretches your calves and your ankles in a very deep way, and you want to apply pressure with your hands on the front knee to get deeper and deeper into the stretch. Remember, for this last variation you want to move into the stretch back and forth. In order to improve your ankles, knees and hips flexibility, split squats are one of the best exercises you can do to do that. To perform a split squat, you want to start with your front foot on some yoga blocks or on the floor, and you want to keep your back leg straight at all times. Then you drive your hips down, keeping your torso perpendicular to the floor, and you move the hips towards your front heel. It doesn't matter if your front knee goes past your front foot. It has to do that to let you gain more flexibility on your ankles and on your knees. Remember, you want to go as deep as possible at each rep and you want to remain there for at least a couple of seconds. On the final rep, you want to remain in the stretch a little bit longer, for example for 5 to 10 breaths. Another really good exercise to work on your ankles, hips and knees flexibility is the Casta squat. You want to start on top with one foot on some yoga blocks to start with, and you go down as much as you can. It doesn't matter if you go all the way down. You'll get there with time. Then you leave the other foot on the wall and you drive your body down. Keep your torso as perpendicular to the floor as possible and drive your hips to the floor. As you can see, you can play with the weight to obtain a different torso position. The more you put the weight away from your torso, the easier the exercise gets, because you can stay with your torso perpendicular to the floor. Vice versa, if you bring the weight closer to your chest, the exercise will get a little harder. So play with this kind of concept to make progress in the position and to gain more and more flexibility. As you're comfortable in the Casta squat with your foot on the yoga blocks, you can start doing the Casta squat on the floor. The progression remains the same. You want to start going down as much as you can, and then you want to get deeper and deeper. You can put the weight away from your chest to start with, and then you want to move it closer and closer to make progress. If you want to work on your squat position without involving your ankles but only your hips and your legs, then this is one of the best ways you can do that. You start in a standing position, you take 5 steps out and you squat down. You put a stick between your legs and your torso, and as you squat down, you want to make sure that the stick remains on your legs without touching it with your torso. So you have to squat down deeply until you can remain in the position with the stick remaining there. Alright, we're gonna see now a couple of specific exercises you can do to improve your squat position, even though you won't be in a squat. They're just a little different positions. The first one is the tailor pose, where you have your back against the wall, your feet in front of your hips, and you want to drive your knees towards the floor using your hands or some weights to further get into the stretch. With time, your main aim is to push your knees towards the floor. So remove the yoga blocks little by little or lower them down until you can eventually touch the floor with your knees. The frog stretch is another excellent exercise to stretch your adductors and your hips, and it may be really helpful for your squat as well. What you have to do here is to place your feet against the wall and your hips and your back against the floor. Then you want to spread your knees wide apart and you want to maintain your feet on the same line of your knees. So with time you want to spread your knees more and more, and you can use your hands and some weights to push them towards the floor more and more. The last specific exercise we want to see is the chest to wall split. This is excellent for your adductors and for your hips and legs flexibility, and it's really simple. You want to put your feet against the wall and you want to drive your hips towards the wall as much as possible. Of course, you want to stop wherever you feel the stretch in the correct way, and remember, you can arch your lower back. So keep your lower back arched and straight and drive your hips towards the wall. You want to maintain your legs straight, and with time you want to spread your feet wider and wider against the wall. Besides working on your preparatory and specific exercises for your squat, it is equally important to spend time in a squat position. And we're gonna see a couple of exercises you can do and some strategies you can follow to improve your squat position. This one is an excellent one. You wanna stand up on a bench and you wanna go down in a squat position, keeping a weight in front of you, which is pulling you down. As you straighten your legs, you want to drive your butt up and you want to completely straighten your legs. Then as you go down, you really squat as deep as you can, using the weight to adjust the balance and to let you go in the deepest squat position. You can perform 6 to 10 reps, and on the final one you can remain longer in the squat position, for example for 5 to 10 breaths. Last but not least, of course, the squat position. You actually want to make sure to spend time in a squat. The first thing you can do to go in a squat position, if you can't go there yet, is to put some yoga blocks, a pair of yoga blocks or something thinner as well, under your heels and squat down. You can use a weight in front of your chest and you can keep it away from your chest to make the exercise easier, or close to your chest to make it harder. Generally speaking, you want to make sure to spend time there. So you can keep the weight away from your chest, close to your chest, it doesn't matter. Now you can also move from side to side to open up your hips and to increase the range of motion. In order to perform an excellent squat position, you want to spread your knees apart. One strategy you can use to improve this kind of activation is to put your elbows against your knees, and then you want to push your knees out using your hands. So you want to close your hands together and bring them down. By doing that, you're gonna push your elbows out and your knees out as a consequence of that. Once you can feel comfortable in a squat position, you can put something thinner under your heels until you can touch the floor with your heels. At this time, it is time to work on your squat specifically. And you can use the same strategies we have seen so far. So start with the weight. Put it away from your chest to start with. Gain flexibility, gain balance there, and then pull the weight closer to your chest. You can repeat the movement also for reps. So going away from your chest, then close to your chest, and you want to repeat that movement maybe 6 to 10 reps. In a squat position, you can use all these strategies we have seen so far as well. So you can move from side to side, you can put your elbows against your knees, but at this point I think that you know everything you need to know to master your squat position. So follow the preparatory specific and squat specific exercises to get there and to stretch your lower body like crazy. If you try these exercises, or if you've been struggling with your squat position and this guide has helped you get there, then please let me know in the comments down below. And remember, if you enjoyed the content, please hit that like button and help me grow this YouTube channel. It means a lot to me, guys. You know that, alright? So with that said, that's all from the flexibility guy, Coach Elia. Have a nice stretch, have a nice squat, and see you in the next video.